Welcome to Upper Elementary Simplified, the podcast where busy and overwhelmed teachers find thoughtful ideas to get students engaged in meaningful learning experiences. Hi, I'm Danna Rodebush, former fifth grade classroom teacher and founder of Teacher Tech Studio. I'm here to share practical tips and strategies that will help you grow as an educator. If you are a tired upper elementary teacher searching for ways to cut down your planning time while boosting student engagement, you are in the right spot. Are you ready? Let's simplify. Welcome to part 3 of our 9-part series all about guided math. Over the next 5 weeks, I am going to be breaking down what you and your students should be doing during each day of the week. Today is all about day 1 and how to launch a week of guided math. This 9-part series of Upper Elementary Simplified is sponsored by the Ultimate Guide to Guided Math for Upper Elementary Teachers. This free guide includes 43 pages of practical and useful tips for you to learn about guided math, including how to implement this powerful instructional strategy in your upper elementary classroom. Download your copy of this free resource by heading to teachertechstudio.com/guided math book. That link will be in the show notes. If you have been in education for more than a week, then you have heard of I do, we do, you do. While this notion has been around for a while, it is absolutely relevant in the classroom. I do is providing students with upfront guidance in the form of demonstration, especially with math concepts. And this helps them to see what is going to be expected of them. We do. After they have seen what is expected of them, then they can begin to develop their own skills with you as their close guide. Students benefit from practicing a skill in a low threat environment when they have guidance from you, the expert. Guided practice builds confidence and allows students to practice new strategies. And then you do. Finally, shortly after they have been exposed to seeing the skill in action and then feeling safe as they are guided through practice, they are ready to tackle the task independently. The independent practice should be in the same format as the guided practice so that it is familiar to students. This allows them to focus on the skill rather than the instructions. A week of guided math should be launched with the introduction of a new math skill. And in my opinion, this is best accomplished through whole group instruction. A great way to introduce any new math skill through whole group instruction is to provide students with guided reference notes and math anchor charts that serve as a central point of reference that they can connect with as they are working independently in future practice activities. I love using guided reference notes to introduce a new skill or topic. If you aren't familiar with guided reference notes, these are simply printables that include blanks throughout that the students follow along with during a whole group lesson, and then they fill those blanks in as they go. I used to have my students keep their notes stored in a 3-ring binder and allow them to reference back to them at any time during practice and even assessments. I felt like students were learning as they were referencing their notes, so it wasn't like they were quote unquote using their notes on a test. It was more of a tool they had available to allow them to problem solve rather than stress out trying to remember every single fact or formula and then get answers wrong on a test or quiz. It's better for our confidence and our retention if we're able to use a reference tool, problem solve to figure out a solution, and not have to worry about memorizing content, with the exception of multiplication facts. As of the time I am recording this series, I have fifth grade math reference notes available, but eventually I plan to have third, fourth, and sixth grade notes as well. I will link my fifth grade reference notes in the show notes for this episode at upperelementarysimplified.com/episode 31. So, after you have introduced a new math skill, it's time for putting the skill to practice. First, you will want to provide guided practice for your students, which simply means you are working through the practice activity with them, whole group. And then you can allow them to practice independently with the skill. Ideally, these practice activities will be similar in layout, so the primary focus will be on practicing the skill rather than navigating a new activity. In addition to practice on the same day as you introduce a new skill, a quick assessment in the form of an exit ticket or exit slip is arguably the most important part of day one. The assessment in guided math exit ticket is given to students at the end of the first whole group lesson. I included a link to a sample of one of my exit tickets inside the free guide, and again, that will be in the show notes. The benefits of using an exit ticket are that the teacher gets a quick snapshot of the student's understanding and comprehension of the new math skill. With the data from the exit ticket, the teacher can formulate a plan for the next day's mini math lesson. And this data will also help the teacher to form small groups of instruction for later in the week, which we will discuss in episodes 33 and 34. The exit ticket assessment should immediately follow the independent practice and should not take students more than 5 to 10 minutes to complete. It should be presented in a no pressure, this is not for a grade type of way, so that the students are focusing on the task rather than the anxiety that they have over making a good grade. This will give you a more accurate representation of what they actually learned during the lesson in practice. An exit ticket must be completed 100% independently if you want to get accurate data about how much your students learned during a whole group math instruction and practice. When I was in the classroom, I used to tell my students that they couldn't ask for help from myself or their peers during an exit ticket because I want to know what you know, not what you and your partner can figure out together. So, to recap, what happens on day one of guided math? First, you have whole group math instruction introducing the new math skill. Then you have guided practice, which builds confidence in students after learning the new math skill. And then you have independent practice that allows students to gain even more confidence with the new math skill. And then finally, you have your exit ticket assessment to get a snapshot of what your students learned or didn't learn, and to help you make decisions moving forward with your instruction. And that wraps up today's episode. Don't forget to download your free guide to guided math, and remember to check out the links in the show notes that I'm leaving in this episode. Join me next Tuesday to discuss day 2 of guided math. I hope to see you there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Upper Elementary Simplified. I hope you are able to take away something useful that will help you grow as a teacher. I do have a quick favor to ask before you go. If you are enjoying the podcast, please let me know by leaving me a review. It really does make a difference because reviews impact search results, which helps me to expand my reach to other educators. Plus, I love to read my listeners' comments. Until next time, keep life simple.